Yeah, what is going on, everybody?
I was gonna say, where's the music at, baby? Let's go, dude.
Here we go. Come on now.
It's football
Big
day.
thank you to everybody here for tuning in to Alarm Fantasy Football. I'm Howard Bender. I got Andrew Cooper here, of course, and we are here getting you guys ready for NFL Week 13. That's right, Thursday night football kickoff tonight. Seattle against the Dallas Cowboys. You guys have playoff positioning to attend to. You have lineups that need to be set. Coop and I, we are here for all of you. We're going to cover everything. We're talking about the NFL news and notes. We're going to talk about tonight's game breakdown, Seattle versus Dallas. Dallas, a 9.5-point favorite at home. They are rolling right now. So the question is does that momentum stay? Can you guys, for fantasy purposes, can you invest in? I mean, obviously, CeeDee Lamb's a must start. Dak Prescott's a must start. Is Brandon Cooks a must start? Is Tony Pollard a must start? And what are you going to do with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? All of these questions and more are about to be answered. What's up, Coop?
What's up, dude? First and foremost, we got to talk about the big news of the day, my man. Zach Ertz. For those that have not noticed or heard, Zach Ertz has been released by the Arizona Cardinals. J.J. Watt comes out, says he's doing a little reporting, stealing Adam Schefter's job, says that Ertz asked to be released and has been released. Opens a pretty big can of worms. On one side, Trey McBride, wheels up, right? In target share, has the second highest target share of any tight end over the last 6 weeks, behind only TJ Hawkinson. And now Ertz is out there, and he could potentially go to a contender, glob on there. I wrote an article on it, did a quick video on it, but I wanted to get your thoughts, Howard. What are you thinking here, man? What kind of landing spots are there for the Ertz, man?
It's kind of funny because I've been tied up and doing the other show that I didn't even hear this news about Zach Ertz. So I haven't even had a chance to really go through and look at which teams could legitimately use a pass catching tight end that they're willing to do it for the upcoming playoffs. So I'm sitting here right now and I'm sort of scrolling through. Could Zach Ertz land with the Chargers? Or do they love Gerald Everett and Donald Parham and Stone Smart so much? Could he end up with, I'm just kind of, how about the Miami Dolphins?
Now that's an interesting one. So there's two spots I feel where he would be kind of a part-time player.
Tell me.
You ready? So with the Dolphins, they have Durham Smythe as the inline tight end. Ertz kind of likes that setup. He doesn't want to be an inline blocking tight end. So with that team, he ends up being a slot. Actually, there's really three spots where he would end up playing the slot. There's that one. There's a very obvious one, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Where Dallas Goedert's got the broken arm, and Alameda Zacchaeus and Julio Jones and Quez Watkins, they haven't really been producing. So why wouldn't he go back there? Goddard plays inline, he plays the slot. That's one. A dark horse one is there was some rumors that the Dallas Cowboys tried to trade for him at the trade deadline. So Jake Ferguson could be in line, and then he could play the slot. The big one, though, where if it was about playing time and he didn't want to be behind Trey McBride, the team where he could potentially be the number one top tight end, full-time tight end, would be the Baltimore Ravens, who just lost Mark Andrews.
I was just looking at them.
So those are the four. And the Chargers, the thing with Gerald Everett is I said this before, 26 games with the Chargers, he's never played more than 80% of the snaps in the game. And he's only played more than 70% 3 times. So they're not fully committed to him. So that's not a crazy one either. There's a lot of spots out there where he can make an immediate impact and put himself in position to win a ring.
That would destroy any of my Isaiah Likely shares.
Me too. I don't want that.
But I like it for the passing game. My big problem is the Ravens not trusting in their passing attack like they should. Listen, if teams aren't stopping your run game, well then fine, just keep running on them the entire time. But are we that invested in Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill that we've taken Todd Monken's air raid offense and really just kind of shit on the concept a little bit,
right? Yeah.
And say, screw it, man. We're just gonna ground and pound it.
It's very strange to see that, right? With some of these teams, the one example that where they did it is with the Cardinals with Cliff Kingsbury. He came in and they just cleaned house and they did exactly what we wanted to do. It's always weird to me when some of these guys come in and they don't build the offense that person had success with. I look at the Minnesota Vikings, right? They bring him in and then they're still using CJ Ham. They're still doing, a lot of the weird concepts that they were doing before. Like, why not get Kevin O'Connell 3 rock solid wide receivers and roll with it, So I don't know. But you're right. This offense that the Ravens are running just looks like the typical offense they always run.
Yeah, it really does, which, a little bit of a disappointment there. I don't know. I'd love to see them build off of Zay Flowers' success this past week. So that is huge news. That is very, very big news. And it's probably the best news that, we've got going on in the NFL right now, because I'm sorry. I recorded the DFS podcast with John and Pemba earlier today. And if I had to hear about Devontae Parker or Hunter Henry, right, or Bailey Zappi one more time, I was literally going to reach through the camera and choke the life out of him for doing that to me. But that was like the big news. The big news here is Bailey Zappi is expected to start. ETN's day to day. There's not really a whole lot going on there with the news. And one thing I will say, and we'll get to these questions in chat because I already said it's already loaded up, which is absolutely fantastic. And we'll do our Thursday night game breakdown as well in a little bit. But yeah, for me, what the hell was I don't even remember the point I was just about.
We were talking about how bad the news is this week and how we were going to talk about. Yeah. We were probably going to, before this Zach Ertz get released, we were probably going to end up getting down to talking about Laviska Shenault being on IR. I'm seriously though, there's nothing else going on. But
Von Miller, domestic abuse, right? Unbelievable there. That's what the Bills need. They need another problem with their defense.
Right.
I almost said a bad word. I won't do that because the algorithms will knock me out. So, all right, listen, we're gonna weave in and out of the chat. I don't want to keep anybody waiting for too long. I already saw that we did have somebody. Victor Amelis actually jumped in early, and now I can't see his question. Oh, there it is. There you go. He was in here before it even started, and so Victor, there you go, or Neelis. 1 point PPR offered Achane for Jalen Warren. He's already got Mostert.
I think I do take it, man. Because honestly, here's the problem that the mental block people run into is this idea of starting 2 guys on the same team at the same position. But we've seen it multiple times before. We've seen it this year with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, where they scored 3 touchdowns. We saw it in the past with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. We saw it earlier this year. Right. We watched these 2 players earlier this year for the first 4 weeks. We're going off, both of them. They crushed the Broncos. And when I do my rankings, if both guys are healthy, I'm going to have both guys, Achane and Mostert, ahead of Warren most weeks. So I'm just doing that trade. And if one of them gets hurt, now you have a super mega star. But with Jalen Warren, it's you kind of need Najee to get hurt. You could have 2. You could have split backs on a better team. So I'm just going with the Dolphins guys.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Listen, I had the conversation this morning. If I'm playing DFS cash games this week because it's Pittsburgh against Arizona, I'm happy to use Najee and Warren in that same lineup. Make sure I take, I get full, effort like that. And I did that early on in the season when I had Mostert and Achane both in the same lineup as well for a cash game lineup there. But, when you're talking about for season-long fantasy, yes, there are times where you can do it, but having that handcuff in such an explosive offense like Miami's is really where we got to go. So yeah, I dig that. And I thank you so much for having Victor. Thank you for being here early, getting that question in. I love that. He
was in here before you and Burns.
Dude, listen, I was on the other show. I was hanging out with Mike Babchick in there. And I got to tell you, man, he and I could have gone back and forth for hours. He didn't realize that you could actually curse on the show or make some sort of a comment. And he just literally just texted me being I didn't know we could get dirty.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch because the Ertz news, I had to go do lead NFL analyst stuff.
Oh, you mean you had to do your job?
I had to do my job, yeah, unfortunately.
Good job.
You're fired.
There it is.
All right, let's go to the chat. Big Mac in the house. What's up, Big Mac? I love you with your 2 all-beef patties, your special sauce, your lettuce, cheese, your pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Ow.
But now we got to pick 3 here, Coop. Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Josh Downs, Brandon Cooks, David Montgomery. It's full PPR.
Man, so David, I would typically say David Montgomery for sure. I don't love the matchup, but I think that of those guys, he's the one I trust best. I also like Josh Downs. I mean, he 12 targets last week. He's pretty dialed in there. After that, it gets a little dicey here. I might be willing to go Brandon Cooks tonight, but I don't know. Deontay Johnson pretty consistently gets targets, but they're just like empty targets. What do you think, Howard?
Yeah, it's a tough one right there because Deontay does. He's the chain mover, and he's going to be the guy who's going to see those targets with Freiermuth 100%. Garrett Wilson, he's the target leader. He's seen double-digit targets in like 4 out of the last 5 games. And yeah, he goes over the middle. He's not a sideline guy exclusively. And the middle is where Atlanta is the weakest. Right. Brandon Cooks tonight, though, I got to be honest, man. I like his involvement a lot more. And I feel like Devin Witherspoon is going to be hugged up on CeeDee Lamb for the majority of this game. And that's not going to eliminate Lamb for me, but it's going to open things up more for Brandon Cooks, I think. Yeah,
and Michael Gallup has been phased out really. Like he's rotating with Jalen Tolbert. So it really is just CeeDee Lamb and Cooks. That's why I like that situation. It's not floating around like it was before. So I think that's where I go.
So Cooks, Downs, and Monty. That's where we're at. Rex Timotheus in the house. Another week, another opportunity to cash. You know it, baby.
Let's go.
Know it.
Moolah.
Love this family, man. Big Mac back here. He says, full PPR. Would you rather flex Dortch, Guyton, or Jameson Williams?
As long as Michael Wilson's out, I'm going Dortch. If Michael Wilson plays, then I would go Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams has picked up a lot of snaps lately. He only played a couple snaps fewer than Josh Reynolds, so I don't mind him going up against the Saints this week.
No Marshawn Lattimore. Right. Alontae Taylor working out in the slot. What is it? Adebo? Is that that's the other corner sitting on the other side now? Who would be on him? So yeah, if Wilson is out, Dortch. If Wilson is in, Jameson Williams.
Right.
100%. Angie Hatfield's here. What's up, Angie? She loved Getting Buzzed. Thank you so much, Angie. I do. I love that show. I love that show. It's just going to keep growing and growing. It's if you haven't caught what Getting Buzzed is, it's like a late night talk show. It's a talk show vibe. Yeah, I bring on people who are involved in sports and everything like that, but we talk about 1,000,001 other things like that. So it was great to sit and hang out with Babs. We did talk Jets. He's a Jets fan. Raising a Jets fan in this environment. So bad.
It's kind of nice to have that badge of honor, though, when you're young. Like it's, when you're young and you go through the struggles. When I was young, there were like the Patriots sucked, the Red Sox.
The Red Sox are terrible.
So yeah, but then we made the playoff. We made the Super Bowl. We lost to the Packers. Desmond Howard. They traded away Nomar Garciaparra on me. So I went through that at least. There are Patriots fans that if you were born in like 2000, you grew up rich, and then now you can't handle it, right? So it's going through that struggle early, kind of toughens you up and makes you appreciate the good times a little more.
I agree. We talked about that, right? It's like Red Sox fans, now that they've won the World Series, like, I mean, where is that? Same thing with the Cubs. They were like the lovable losers the entire time, and now they won the World Series, and now it's like it's the Cubs.
Now they're it's almost better to have the curse and not win, because now they're just a team that's won 1 out of 150.
They just have no identity anymore.
That's actually worse, dude. It's just like, to win one. Now you've proven that you can win, right? So it's actually.
Adam Stoddard's in the house here. His trade deadline has not passed. 12-team PPR. He's 7-5.
Okay.
He's got Trevor Lawrence, Sam Howell, Keenan Allen, Tank Dell, Jamar Chase, Calvin Ridley. His running backs are Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, and Tajay Spears. He's got Kelsey in the Miami D.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a team that I'm happy walking into the playoffs with this entire crew.
Yeah, I don't mind it, man. I don't mind it at all. I mean, the thing is, some of these guys are getting hot at the right time. Not Chase, but like Ridley is coming on. Dale obviously has been great as of late. Keenan Allen's been awesome. Kyron's back. Like you're all right, man. I think you're gonna be all
Charbonnet's
right.
getting the work right now with like if that's where you're weakest right there is the running backs, position. What you can do is you can try and trade away, see
Yeah,
if somebody will give you a running back for Jamar Chase,
that's what I would do.
right?
Yep.
See
Mhm.
if somebody, I mean, and you don't even have to, you're not shooting for like the best running back. You just want a guy who's seeing touches regularly, who's a step above Jalen Warren or Zach Charbonnet. You just want to step above either one of those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, lean into the narrative. There are guys out there that have been underperforming that get the full workload, and you can say the same thing. Like, say the Joe Mixon guy is hurting that wide receiver, he's probably not feeling great about Mixon, and you make that swap because you are good at wide receiver, not at running back, right? Go for like Rashad White, who hasn't been like awesome, but at least he's playing all the snaps. There's guys out there that you could potentially get your hands on that can help you out.
How about this one? Would you trade Kelsey? Like, let's say you like, you hit up like the Dalton Kincaid owner who's got like some running back help there. Would you trade Kelsey for like Kincaid and a running back? Because I think I would.
Yeah, I think so. As long as as long as you have a fill in for this week while Kincaid's on bye, because at 7-5, you can't
I
afford
mean,
to
I'm not
lose
I'm not
Kincaid.
locked into Kincaid. I'm just talking about using
Right.
using a getting a tight end who's playable every single week
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you can
and
do
using
it,
that.
if you can get somebody like McBride, uh, Kincaid, Evan Ingram, in
Mhm.
full PPR, Evan Ingram's just fine, right? Like guys like that, then I would do it. And the Ingram
Freiermuth.
owners, Fryermuth, yeah, with the coaching change, he's looking great now, huh?
Mhm. All right, so there you go, Adam. That's a little building block to work on there. Chase straight up for a running back, or deal Kelsey. See what
Mhm.
happens. What do I got? Kayaks and bronze backs here. Need one. Njoku, Ferguson, or Dalton Schultz.
For
I
this,
know he says
just the
they say
yeah.
I know you have them ranked in that order on the website. I guess I'm asking because I was a little surprised to see Njoku ranked the highest. What if DTR doesn't play? Oh yeah, because because Joe Flacco can throw it for more than 8 yards.
Right. Yeah. And, the thing is, PJ Walker in those games has been fine as well. You know what I mean? So, like, especially for Njoku. So, I really don't care who the quarterback is. I like the usage for Njoku. Schultz, we just found out that the reason he was splitting snaps with Brevin Jordan last week is that he has an injury, right? I think it's a hamstring. So, and he hasn't practiced all this week. So, really can't go with Schultz. And Ferguson has his usage has been okay, but he really has not been targeted as of late. They're mixing in Luke Schoonmaker. We might, Peyton Hendershot still floating around. I'm not sure. Ferguson just doesn't have the upside that Njoku has. If you want to play it really safe, then throw Ferg in there tonight. But I like Njoku.
Yeah, I like Njoku as well. And again, I mean, 24 targets in the last 2 games.
So I'm saying, right? It's the QB change. The guy that is hurting is Amari Cooper. Everyone else has no problem just dumping it down to Njoku. DTR's A dot was like 3 yards, right? PJ Walker in the games that they've played, he's getting targeted plenty. So yeah.
On fantasyalarm.com right now, our DFS ownership projections have David Njoku as the top tight end, as likely the most rostered, and Elijah Moore as the bargain play for everybody over there. Oh, here's a QR code right here. Zap it, baby. Get yourself into the Fantasy Alarm subscription. All pro, all the time. So good. You can also go to fantasyalarm.com/let's go and use that promo code let's go, and they'll give you 50% off on your first month. Ann Dunn in the house. Hi, Ann. She says hi, fellas.
Man.
She needs 3 here, Coop. PPR. Moss, Deontay Johnson, Rashee Rice, Olave if he plays, and Higgins.
I'm just going with the first three.
First
I'm
three.
going with the first three. Yeah. Olave, maybe Olave over Deontay if he does play, because he'd be cleared from concussion protocol. So there's really not a huge risk of, him underperforming. But I mean, they already said they're not going to bring in another running back. So Moss is locked in. Rashee Rice last week, 100 yards, touchdown. Feel like, that's the breakout we needed to see from him.
He needs those targets
Right.
on the regular like that, though.
Yeah. And then PPR, you got Deontay Johnson going up against the Cardinals. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Jack Sensen says Pats are 2-9 against the spread. Wah, wah.
Actually, the against the spread stuff, I'm willing to bet against I'm a Patriots fan, but when I come on this show and when I write my articles and I do my stuff, I'm unbiased. I'm willing to bet against that team like crazy. So yeah,
I wish you weren't a liar.
I'm definitely willing to bet on the Chargers. I got no problem with that.
Rod Elliott says, gentlemen, how are you? Would you start Pitts or Freiermuth in PPR?
Freiermuth, man. He came out. He's back to normal. Eddie Faulkner dialing up plays for him. Like let's go.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Screw Kyle Pitts. Screw Arthur Smith. I actually have the Jets winning that game on like a big like upset. Because isn't Arthur Smith just that type of guy? Had such a great game from Bijan Robinson last week, and he's going to be like, well, I'm going to outthink them, and I'm not going to use Bijan this week.
He's that exact guy. So stubborn, dude. He's the exact guy to do that.
Deontay Johnson or Drake London in PPR? I'm going Deontay.
Deontay. You can't start Drake against the Jets.
Arizona's just so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Albert's in the house. What's up, Albert? He's saying hello. Victor says thank you. I had to step into a meeting when the show started. Well, it's all right. So, Victor, we got your answers in there and all good. Rod says Hawkinson's on a bye. Otten or Henry this week?
I like Otten. Henry, unfortunately, I was hoping Henry would run a full complement of routes last week, but he only ran like 60%. Cade Otten actually over the last 6 weeks has led all tight ends in route participation, like 88%. So Otten is dialed in for me. I have no problem starting him.
Yeah. Ann says she's got to move Ertz off of IR. Should she keep him? Her other tight ends are Kincaid, Chig, and Parham. Could also drop playoff Lenny and keep the tight ends to wait and see, but she doesn't need 4. I'm dropping Parham for Ertz.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just keep playoff Lenny just to see.
I didn't really trust Parham when Gerald Everett was out, and now Gerald Everett's back.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Britt says him saying he slept naked on a leather couch was dirty. Oh, that was Babchick.
Yeah,
that was Babchick.
That's a wrong move.
Couch. I feel like everybody's made that mistake at some point or another in their lives.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's no
big
good.
Mistake.
Here we go. What was that? Cow Chad TTV Superflex Nightmare ranked these from least to most likely to hit 15 points.
What are we looking at?
Tim Boyle, Bailey Zappi, or Joe Flacco. Ugh.
I'm going with Zappi just because like the play style from him to Mac Jones is different enough where Bailey Zappi takes more risks. Like Bailey Zappi of those guys has the biggest chance to get you negative points if he's just throwing picks and stuff, but at least he's willing to throw. Like when he goes out there, he's willing to really let it fly, whereas Mac is just very conservative. So it could be ugly for Zappi, but he's got the highest upside, I think.
Yeah, I mean, probably does. I don't necessarily know if you could call what he's got really upside. I mean, it's a soft matchup, but I mean, listen, Tim Boyle, if he gets you 180 yards and he throws a touchdown, like is that terrible? Is Bailey Zappi going to do that? I mean, it's pretty tough to see.
I don't know. Tim Boyle against the
Tim Boyle.
I don't know. I'm going with Zappi. At least the spread, at least that game, it's a 40.5 point over under and a 5.5 point spread. So they're suggesting, I know it's probably Ramondre Stevenson they like, but they're suggesting the Patriots are at least going to be able to move the ball, Yeah,
well, they can suggest it all they want, Coop, but like I said to John and Pemba today, stop with the nonsense here. Please stop with the nonsense. Hal asks you to rank these guys. Achan, Ridley, Rice, Najee, Javonte Williams.
That's how I would have it ranked this week. Yep. Now because Najee's got the great matchup with the Cardinals. So I'm with you on that.
Okay. Drop Goddard for Ertz.
Absolutely not. Goddard was arguing to play this week. So if he doesn't play this week, they're saying that he's going to play against the Cowboys next week. So don't drop Goddard first.
All right. I like it. I like it. Deontay Johnson, Drake London, Jerome Ford, or Breece Hall need a running back and a flex. So for the running back, is it Ford or Hall?
I like what we've seen from Ford, man. And he's got the Rams. That he should be all right. So I go Ford, and then it's either Deontay or Hall. I really don't want to start Drake London against Sauce and DJ Reed. I think I would start Deontay Johnson.
I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. All right. Let's keep rolling. Keep rolling. Oh, yo, when's getting buzzed on every week? Every week it is Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right before this show here.
Yeah, Big Mac, just so you know, on this channel, we've got it set up where every day from 1 to 3, we were rocking this block. I'm on a bunch of these shows. We do this show from 2 to 3, but we also have my show that's just my solo show, and then I bring a guest on Friday. We've got Brits Blitz on Mondays and Fridays. We got Lightning Round. We have Quick Outs. We have Getting Buzz. There's always going to be something for you from 1 to 3 for a little lunch break. Come hang out with us. So
I love it.
Love it, baby. Lock it in. Lock in the 1-3 spot here on Fantasy Alarm.
Hit the subscribe button on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. You will not be disappointed. I assure you. If you're especially seasonal, DFS, and betting, like every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we have the betting show with Dan Servadidio. So it's basically, and at like 5, we end up with like an NBA DFS show. So if you hit the subscribe button for the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page, you'll get all those notifications. You're going to be locked in 100%.
Let's go.
Coop, we'll take a break from the chat just for a few moments here. Just want to kind of chat up a little Thursday night football and shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. We love playing their pick'em contests over there. Hit that QR code or just go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog and use the promo code ALARM. They'll give you a full match deposit up to $100 on your first deposit over there. And we do articles and pick'em contest picks for Underdog on the regular throughout the week. Football, basketball. We hit it for you there as well. We've got, I don't think they've posted their gimme pick yet. So I don't even know if like that, higher than half a yard. But Burns says no. Brian Burns, our illustrious producer, says no. So while they don't have that, Coop and I, we can give you our pick. So here for tonight's action, Thursday night football, Coop, what you like?
So usually we do the tackle monster, but I didn't like they're catching on to us, I think. I didn't really like a lot of the props on that. I've got one that's going to be really interesting to root for tonight. I'm going to go to Dak Prescott and look at sacks taken of 2, and I'm going to go lower on that because if you go back and look at this team, right, the first couple of weeks they only let up 1 sack, and then they lost to the Cardinals. And everyone was wondering why that happened, but it's because they were missing Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and Tyler Biadasz. They were missing 3 out of their 5 linemen. In fact, throughout the season, the only guy that's played every game is Terrence Steele. Everyone else has missed various points. Everyone's been healthy the last couple of weeks. They have not let up a single sack in 3 weeks now. Not 1 in 3 weeks now. So I think that they've been keeping this guy clean. I see no reason why tonight all of a sudden he would get sacked 3-4 times or whatever. So I'm going to go lower on 2 sacks taken for the lower. We don't get a lot of lower sounders on here, but keeping it clean. It's going to be very weird to root for that though, because up until the very end of the game, you're sitting there and you're like,
You're like, no, don't get it, roll out.
You're screaming. I've done it before, and I swear I was screaming at the screen. I was like, he made scrambling back to the line of scrimmage. I'm like, he got it. Like, get tackled 1 inch short. I'm like, no. Challenge that.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
All right, so lower than 2 sacks taken for Dak Prescott. I'm going to give one that I gave out because I was like looking through all of the stat lines and, fantasy points and higher and lowers. And the one that I'm locked into it here, and that's Tony Pollard. half a rushing and receiving touchdown. I'm definitely saying higher on that one. Seattle Seahawks giving up 117 rushing yards per game. They've allowed 14 rushing touchdowns. That's second most in the NFL. So while they're not giving up like yardage like the Jets or the Broncos are giving up, they're giving up more and more touchdowns to running backs. Pollard's gotten into the end zone in each of the last 2 games. And what we've seen right now, since Dallas came back from their bye, we've seen more Brandon Cooks involved, more Tony Pollard involved. So I'm really kind of digging on what they're doing right now. So Tony Pollard, half a rushing and receiving touchdown. Go higher, baby. He's getting into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, I just talked about the offensive line. Now that everybody's healthy, last couple of games, 5.1 yards of carrying a touchdown, 6.1 yards of carrying a touchdown. He's also gotten 6 targets, and with the line you picked there, you get those too. So if he catches one, if he gets one on the ground, then you're golden.
So here you go, guys. This is the QR code right here. Scan that or just go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use the promo code ALARM. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. Boom. Throw in the pick'ems. Go back and watch yesterday's show. Coop and I gave you other picks there as well that you can use for the rest of the week. Throw 4 in there. Zip it up. Looking good. All right. So shout out to our friends over at Underdog. By the way, Coop, let me ask you this question, because I know it's a fantasy show, but Dallas 9.5-point favorites at home. I always hesitate to use Dallas at home when they're favored by such a strong amount because they always they choke a little bit. And there's also the fact that they play the Eagles next week. And so maybe they're kind of looking ahead. Not this time for me. I'm still taking Dallas and I'm laying the points. It's just they've been a juggernaut right now.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I am taking Dallas as well. And it's because this game is actually, as you get to the end of the season, you start looking around at tiebreakers and stuff. And this game actually becomes incredibly important because it's one of the common opponents that the Cowboys have with the Eagles, right? So the Cowboys to win the division, they need the Eagles because, dude, the Eagles schedule, it ends Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So you're not going to get Eagles losses there, right? So They need the Eagles to lose this week because the Cowboys already lost to the 49ers, and then they need to beat the Eagles, right? If the Cowboys were to lose to the Seahawks, well, the Eagles also play the Seahawks. So if the tiebreakers boil down to common opponents, then the Eagles win. They cannot lose any of these games if they want to win the division. So they're going to take this game very seriously. They're going to take next week's game even more seriously, and then they got to win their own games. And the Cowboys schedule is brutal, dude. It goes Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions. That's a yikes.
That's a gauntlet.
They gotta win this game. If they lose this game and then they enter the gauntlet,
I don't even know if I'm not saying they're going to lose this game. I'm just, I'm just worried about like the backdoor cover from Seattle, and all of a sudden you're like, shit.
Nah, I'm in, man. I think they're coming out flying around,
swinging.
Yeah.
All right. Rod Elliott wants to know Spears or Tyler Algier PPR flex spot. He's also got Bijan already in there. That kind of makes me want to use Algier and just lock it up. Like lock up any rushing touchdowns that the Falcons get against a weak run D.
The thing about Algier is that he plays very few snaps, but he gets the ball every time he goes in the game. He gets 10 targets he gets 10 carries every game. Like no matter what, they said, no matter what happens, this guy's going to get at least 10 carries, right? Sometimes he even gets 17, 20 or whatever, but he's going to get 10 minimum. So you can't say that about Spears.
True. Level of injury panic for ETN. Is Dearness Johnson a plug-and-play replacement?
I mean, he almost has to be because he's really taken over. I don't know what happened with Tank Bigsby, but they just decided that he's just not going to play at all. So, if ETN's out, like who are we going to find that's better option than Dearness Johnson? I don't know.
Running against the Cincinnati Bengals, who give up the second most rushing yardage in the NFL right now.
Devin Singletary ran for 150 yards against Devin Singletary behind the Texans offensive line ran for 150 yards against this team. So yeah, you got to just throw him in.
Coop, 49ers D or the Eagles D?
I have them back to back in the rankings. I do that often with close matchups where they're playing each other, but they're still good options. I think you just got to, in this case, side with the home team. That's that's what I'm doing. I'm going
Not
with
me.
the
I'm
Eagles.
taking the 49ers.
Think so?
Yep.
49ers D? All right.
I just,
Well,
listen, it's a great offensive line for the Eagles, but the pass rush is fierce. And, listen, I think that the Eagles can, kind of make some mistakes. They listen, the Eagles had no business winning these last two games. They had no business winning it. And maybe that's the narrative. Maybe that's what we're worried about. Is Kelsey healthy at center? That's what Burns is asking here right now.
It's a great question.
That is a great question.
Well, Burns, as the producer, why don't you let us know what's going on?
Yeah, why don't you use the Google machine, typey kind of thing, huh? Because we can't use Coop's because Coop's keyboard is way too loud.
My keyboard is literally the quietest in the business. I'm actually.
I heard you. I heard you on the Quick Out. No, not the Quick Out show. It was yesterday's lightning round show. I was like, oh, look at Coop, typey.
That couldn't have been. It must have been somebody else's keyboard.
No, it definitely was not.
I had to.
Noah Hartman in the house as a Saints fan. Heads up that Adebo has been playing out of his mind. 2 interceptions against the Bears and 1 against the Colts. He's probably team MVP so far. On the defensive side, Alante in the slot been iffy. Yes, Alante in the slot has been beyond iffy. Right. But I'm still, man. I mean, listen, I get it. Adebo has been playing extremely well.
It's going to be a rough day for Josh Reynolds.
Just wear and tear right now.
Right, because they're going to use Amon-Ra St. Brown in that slot. They're going to run Laporta out of an inline spot, which he'll run into Demario Davis and Honey Badger, so he'll have his own problems. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be just fine. Adebo is going to be out there on Josh Reynolds and Jamison Williams. So, I mean, that's probably a reason to maybe steer clear of Jamison Williams.
There you go. Going back to that other question. Look at you, Coop. Bringing it all full circle here, huh?
Right? It's how we learn. That's how we grow.
Have you done
this? Coop, the greatest guy in the whole wide world.
Coops, are you wearing Fonzie's leather jacket right now?
I'm wearing. This is a. I forget what these are. I forget what these are called. It's a. It's not leather.
Oh, okay.
But it's nice, dude.
Is that a satin jacket?
It's not satin, dude. It's a. I forget what is this thing called.
I don't know.
Well, it's called a bomber jacket. It's called a bomber jacket, dude.
No, bomber jacket's made out of leather.
No, it doesn't have to be. I got the bomber jacket, got the Fleetwood Mac shirt, dude. We're at a party.
Wow.
It's
You're
Thursday,
so old
dude.
school. Look at you, OG Coop here.
Just chilling, dude.
What's it like being old?
And Dunn wants to know Charbonnet or Singletary in standard.
Oh, in standard, huh? I think, let's see. We got Texans against the Broncos. Charbonnet tonight against the Cowboys. It's so much more fun to play guys on Thursday, but I think I would rather start Singletary. He's been hot lately. He played 49 snaps and and Dameon Pierce only played 11. So Singletary's kind of got that job.
There you go. Do we think, hey, what's up, Birdie? Birdie's in the house here. Hey,
Birdie.
Do we think McBride plays this week? I'm not excited about having to start Jawan or Cade.
Yeah, I would definitely much rather start McBride. I'm hoping he plays, but if he doesn't play, then I would go with Jawan this week against the Lions.
Grumpy Sports Fan wants to know if he can drop Dameon Pierce.
Don't drop guys just to drop him, but he's droppable. If there's somebody you want to add, let us know who you're trying to add.
Well, yeah, it depends on who you're adding. Like if you're just dropping him to add some speculative wide receiver, right, that you don't know what he's going to do, I'd still rather have Dameon Pierce. I mean, this running back economy, I talk about it all the time. It's terrible.
Right. And this D'Amico Ryans and Bobby Slowick, they come from the hot hand Shanahan coaching tree. So that can change at any time. But it is telling. A lot of times we get those questions and we just say, no, you can't drop that guy. With Dameon Pierce, the answer is maybe. So let us know. Let us know who you're trying to add. Yeah.
Hal's in here. What's up, Hal? PPR Superflex 14 team. Would you drop Jeff Wilson or Dowdle for Zappy and start him over Dearness Johnson, or just roll Dearness Johnson out at San Francisco? Well, it's not in San Francisco. Dearness Johnson is going to be going up against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh, at Superflex, he means.
That's a Superflex. Yeah. I don't know. I honestly
Zappy or Johnson? I mean, we don't know if ETN's playing or not.
If ETN's out, I probably would start Dearness Johnson, but I'm starting Zappy over Jeff Wilson and Rico Dowdle for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Might just start the quarterback anyway. My rule of thumb is kind of always just start the quarterback and let the fantasy gods sort the rest out.
And wants to know Dallas D or Atlanta D this week. The answer is always the Dallas D, and it doesn't matter. Like you're chasing, I don't even know what you're chasing right now with the Atlanta D because the Jets suck. It's not, you're not guaranteed. Like Tim Boyle's probably not even going to throw enough to hope for a pick six. With that, like Dallas's defense, they get turnovers, they're opportunistic, they get sacks. Like that's the problem with everybody churning over their defense because all you're looking for is, in most cases, is you're chasing that defensive touchdown. And it never works. Like so many people are in on the Chargers defense this week because it's against the Patriots. But the Chargers defense is horrendous. They don't get turnovers. They don't get sacks. So I mean, it's like, so why are we doing that? Why deviate off of Dallas? The Dallas Cowboys, you ready for this one, Coop? Dallas Cowboys are averaging 13.6 fantasy points per game.
Oof.
There are wide receivers and running backs who don't accrue that many points.
They're RB1, dude. Yeah, Deron Bland scores a touchdown every week. Like I know Jesse Bates had one last week, but these guys are playmakers. And earlier I talked about the Dak Prescott line on sacks, which you said at 2, which we like the lower on that. I looked at the one for Geno Smith. It said at 3.5. They're saying that the line is 3.5 for Geno Smith, saying that there's a chance that it's over. There's a chance he gets sacked 4 times. That's where they're setting the number, right? 3.5 sacks from your defense is all you need in this fantasy football landscape.
Yeah. Rod Elliott says Javonte, Najee, Charbonnet, Hunt, A.T. Perry need a running back and a flex in a PPR.
I think our company stance is that you start whatever running backs play against the Cardinals. So Najee
for sure. How about Javonte against Houston?
Yeah, he bounced back nicely from the week before. Got more work than the backups in all phases. So there was a little question about pass work. He got more pass work than the other guys. Obviously got all the carries. So yeah, let's just go with Javonte and Najee.
Kurt Kleba in the house here. Great show. Kleba. Thank you very much, Kurt. Gibson or Pirine, full point PPR.
Pirine.
Oh, Pirine going up against the Houston Texans. And then you've got Gibson going up against Miami.
So I'll actually go Gibson here. Gibson, these are the matchups where Gibson plays. Gibson actually played more snaps because they got crushed by the Cowboys. Gibson played more snaps than Brian Robinson last week. So Pirine is just never going to play more than Javonte under any circumstances. So I'll go Gibson.
All right. Noah Hartman says full point PPR start 2. Jerome Ford versus the Rams. Singletary versus Denver. DeAndre Hopkins against the Colts.
D-Hop his usage has been so weird. It doesn't really he's not playing even close to the whole game. I think I would go Jerome Ford and Singletary. I don't trust
the
D-Hop.
backs. Use the backs. D-Hop is not like that's the thing is like people are still like what Coop's talking about here is look at the snap counts. Look at Coop does a snap count article every single week to shows you who's rising, who's falling, right? If you're not on the field, you're not getting the work. Right. And, you might have a great name like DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody knows who you are, but if you're not playing properly, you're not getting points.
Right. Like you would think a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, if they were going to have 53 snaps, he's playing 50. If they've had 53 snaps this week, he played 30. And he only ran 23 routes. It's like he's just playing part-time player, man. He's just checked out right now.
Yeah. Team's a lost cause.
Right.
Ann says sit 1 in PPR. Zeke, Elijah Moore, Romeo Dobbs. I'm sitting Zeke here.
Says Zeke, yeah. Zeke played, again, the snap count article is up there. Check it out. Like Zeke played 15 plays, and the Patriots actually had like 70.
Ramondre, so 20 carries again.
Ramondre's awesome right now. 3 games in a row, he's had over 100 yards from scrimmage. November's just his month. November's his month.
Derek Carr or Sam Howell? Trevor Lawrence or Sam Howell? I think I'm Team Howell on both cases here. Going up against Miami, he's good. Dude throws 40 times a game. Miami's pass defense, it's good. It's not great. I think McLaurin and Curtis Samuel can have strong games here. I think Howell's going to throw the ball a ton.
Who's Derek Carr even throwing to? You know,
A.T. Perry.
Like, definitely can't start
Taysom Hill.
Yeah. I have Howell ahead. I have Howell ahead of Carr for sure. Lawrence, it's a little closer. But I'm still going to go Howell.
Yeah, I'm on Howell. Noah Hartman says, was giving up Lamar and Demario Douglas to get Javonte Williams and Trey McBride back after trading him away. Okay.
Who's your other? Yeah, as long as you feel comfortable at quarterback, for sure. Demario Douglas, as much as I like him, he's fun to watch. He's so hard to trust anybody on that team besides Ramondre.
It's so weird to hear you call him Demario.
I know. That's my
like when you're enthusiastic about him, he's Pop Douglas.
You know, he's Pop Douglas. He's then Pop Douglas. But this week, coming out of the bye, Devontae Parker and Juju played more snaps than him. So he's Demario. He was Demario last week. Hopefully he's Pop again this week.
Guys, just wait till the Fantasy Alarm Poker Tournament starts. We're all going to own Coop because he's wearing his tells on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Big Mac says Juwan Johnson or Taysom Hill, full point PPR. Blech. Gross, but I'll probably say Taysom Hill because they use him in multiple ways. You know, Juwan Johnson is going to catch some passes, but
if Chris Olave is out, I would start Juwan Johnson because with everybody out, he led the team in routes and targets. If Chris Olave plays, then I'm going Taysom Hill.
I'm still growing Taysom Hill here. As disgusting, horrible as it is,
he needs to get them. They need to get him to the red zone. When he gets to the red zone, it's wheels up. He's almost like a kicker, where it's out of his hands to some degree, right? But like, he's unstoppable down there. Even when they stop him running, they throw the little passes to him, or he throws a touchdown pass. Like, he is the red zone cheat code.
Grumpy Sports Fan says Pop Douglas, Curtis Samuel,
Mario.
Romeo Doubs, or Jonathan Mingo. My answer is Curtis Samuel here.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel. He got double-digit targets last week, and he played a ton. Ran 43 routes. Logan Thomas kind of took a little backseat with Curtis Samuel back full. I know he got kicked. He wasn't hurt. He got kicked out of the game the week before last. So Curtis Samuel's good to go.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Samuel this year. Brandon Cooks or Dalton Schultz in a tight end premium situation.
Got to go Cooks because we don't even know if Schultz is going to play. He has not practiced yet this week. And last week he definitely took a back seat with the I think it's a hamstring.
Hal says he wishes that the shows would start back to back, always get caught switching. Now you know how we feel having to go back and forth for doing the shows. Sorry, Hal. Sorry.
I'm doing another show right after this, Howard. The guys over at Front Yard Fantasy had their guest bail today, so I'm going to step in, play a little Jeopardy with those goofballs.
I love it, man. Say hi to Joey Wright for me. I love Joey.
Yeah, he's on. It's going to be Joey, Simon, and JL. So get the good squad together.
Tell those guys thanks for asking me.
Well, dude, you're going to be on next week if you start throwing that around, dude. They'll love to have you on.
Thanks for asking me. You know, go with your old standby here of Andrew Cooper. Go ahead.
Right, dude.
Chad Rowe needs 3 out of Puka Nacua, Keenan Allen, Ridley, and Metcalf. So Allen and Ridley are locks for me.
Yeah, for sure. You can't sit Keenan Allen under any circumstances. I think I would go.
You know what? Well, Ridley against does Cincinnati play a lot of zone? I didn't even look to see if Cincinnati plays zone or man more.
Oh, we looked it up in the past, and they do play a lot of zone. But Ridley, like Christian Kirk and Zay Jones are, they both played like 50 or so snaps. Ridley played like 70. He's dialed in. I think Ridley's good to go. It's Puka or Metcalf, and I think I would start Metcalf tonight because it's close enough. And Metcalf starting guys on Thursday is fun. That's my tiebreaker on that one.
That's your tiebreaker on that one. Let me just see. I just want to just double check it here because that's what kind of full service work you get from Howard Bender.
Puka's got the Browns. So
Cincinnati Bengals zone coverage 71.4% of the time.
what did I say?
Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
So all right, so Ridley and Allen. Then what'd you say, Puka or Metcalf? Which one?
Metcalf tonight because Puka's got the Browns this week.
Oh yeah, that's no good. Oh, that's no good.
Mm-hmm.
Vito in the house. What's up, Vito? I love this. I love this for Tommy Vito.
It's so good, dude. The Vito, yeah.
Brett, am I using the wrist enough here in that?
I'm not no good at it either. I'm not Italian enough. Us
I'm
Germans
not
don't know how to
Italian,
do it.
right? I mean, Jews and
It is
Italians
funny.
are supposed to be
Hey.
close. We do a lot of guilt and we feed our kids a ton, but I don't know. Vito says full PPR. Pick a running back, a flex, and a tight end.
Setting the
So
lineup,
here you
baby.
go. Running backs: Breece Hall, Najee, Zach Charbonnet. Those are the three running backs that we get to choose from. I'm in on Najee.
Me too. Yep.
For a flex, we can go with Breece, Charbonnet, Downs, London, Amari Cooper, McBride, and Freiermuth. Well, we're going to put Freiermuth in the tight end spot because we don't know about the health of McBride.
Right. But
So
if McBride's a full go, then I would start McBride. If he's a full go. Now the question becomes for me, because I'm not going to start London versus the Jets. I'm not going to start Amari with whoever the quarterback is.
Whoever. Yeah.
So it's Downs or Freiermuth in the slot. I think it's Downs probably, right? It's not tight end team or anything.
Downs for sure. Against Tennessee, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
John and Peppa says Geno Smith lower than 14.75 fantasy points.
John was I was
okay with that.
I was in on Geno at ADP. John was correctly fading him. He was like, we worried that they'd have tape on him, worried that he had peak performance last year, and so far been very much right on that.
He's got one of the most punchable faces in all of sports,
which has already been punched once when he was on the Jets. Remember that?
I of course I remember that. Amari Cooper or Devin Achane. Is Achane playing?
If he's playing, then yeah, Achane.
If he's
Otherwise,
playing, yes. What do we expect from him? We expect him to run like a beast if he's playing. I don't think they're gonna play him if they're worried about another setback like last week.
Yeah, there are certain players that need like 20 touches, and there are certain players that only need like 10, and that's Achane. It doesn't matter. He needs like 2, right? Like go back and watch some of the early games this year. He was just taking everything for a touchdown. Everything. 70 yards touchdown. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm fine with Achane, especially over Amari.
Yeah. We got to go rapid fire, Howard. We're getting up against it here.
Oh, are we? Are you ready? You
I've never been
suggesting
ready.
rapid fire?
I'm saying it because the longer we wait, the more pressure there's on me to go rapid fire. So I'm trying to give myself as much time.
Start 3. Mostert, Moss, Montgomery, or Kamara?
I'm starting Kamara. So you just bench
Start
one?
3.
I'm probably bench Monty. He's the only guy really splitting.
All right. There you go. He's benching Monty. Do you guys agree with the 49ers giving 3 points at Philly this week? I thought it would have been the other way around. I'm fine with that, especially with the way that the Eagles have played the last 2 games. I think it stays close in this one here, but if I had to make a pick on it right now, I'm going to take the 49ers and I'm going to lay the points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was my first reaction that I liked Philly, but Howard, you kind of convinced me that the 49ers deserve it.
All right. Here we go. Oh, geez. Wow. We are backed up. Here you go. Achane or Ford?
We have to get this important comment up first. That I did specifically buy the quietest keyboard that they sell. So scientifically proven.
Oh, somebody wants me to do the typey motion again. There you go. That's Coop.
Achane or Ford? I'm gonna go if Achane plays, I'm going with him, but I don't mind Ford.
Way to do the rapid fire, Coop.
Okay, go.
Achane or Ford?
Achane.
Why do people always worry about getting old? The alternative is unappealing. True. I have Goddard. Should I pick up Ertz in case he has fantasy value?
No.
Coop's wearing a jacket in his house. Yeah, we already laughed at that one. Drop likely to add a tight end in case McBride is out? Probably.
No.
No?
If you have to. No, I wouldn't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
All right.
Because you can probably put McBride in the IR spot. And then add somebody. I don't want to drop Likely.
Why is he going on IR? Oh, you're playing in one of those cheap
Those
leagues
leagues.
that you can take a guy who's out. That's such a garbage move. Drop Christian Watson, Khalil Herbert, or Roshan Johnson for Zach Ertz.
Now, Ertz,
No.
if anything, Ertz is he'll be ready to play by playoffs for a playoff team.
You're not rapid firing, Coop.
Go. Hey, you eat up all this time in between the
Put your Twitch glasses on here.
Finally, Twitch, where you been at?
I just traded Josh Allen and Bijan Robinson for Stroud and Kamara. Did I win this trade? I say no.
Yeah.
Do I start Dak tonight or Tua?
Guys, Tua is my start. Both those guys are great. Start Tua though against Washington.
Yeah, Tua for me as well. I have Gibbs. Should I trade Demont for Ridley?
Yeah, go ahead. Ridley's been great.
I wouldn't. I mean, I like Ridley, but I like having the security of both running backs in case somebody gets hurt, especially with the playoffs coming up.
Fair.
Here's another one. Do I start Dak tonight or Tua? No.
Tua.
PPR, Chase or Rashee Rice?
I'm starting Rice. He looks great.
Nico Collins or Calvin Ridley?
I'm going with Nico against the Broncos.
Victor Ornelas wants to know if Coop is going to be filling in for the GM while he's covering the MLB meetings.
I'm doing Wednesday. What day am I doing? I don't even know. I have no idea. Monday or Wednesday. Listen to them all though, because
little Better Cast shout out. Yeah, guys, tonight the Bender Cast, right? It's not just the Better Cast, it's the Bender Cast. I'm going to be sitting there. I've actually got, and I'll say it right now, I'll announce it here. I was going to save it for the show, but Jim Bowden is joining me for the pregame show so that we can go over all the pregame props. So you got Jim Bowden, Mr. Rah Rah Cowboys guy. He's going to join me before. And then at halftime, Mr. Seahawks himself, the king, Scott Engel, going to join me for a little, a little mid-game kind of preparation work. So the Better Cast is where you want to be. Do we have a QR code here to download the Better Cast? Download it for free. There it is. Download it for free. Answer the prop questions. Win tickets. Use those tickets to get yourself some autographed sports memorabilia. The Better Cast is where you want to be, and it is 100% free. Come hang out with me Thursday Night Football. Taysom or Ferguson?
I got to actually jump, Howard, because that other show starts right now. But I would start.
Wow, look at that. Then
I would start Ferg.
Done. We didn't get to your questions here. We love you so much. We appreciate it. Tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, as Andrew Cooper and John Impemba are doing a Q&A over there. That's going to do it for us at Alarm Fantasy Football. Catch you next time.
Adios, turd nuggets.